Hello and welcome to the Work Hates podcast. I'm Bron Lewis. This is Bretty Blake. Everyone has a nightmare work story, whether it is a dreadful boss, a shitty workplace, or an insufferable colleague. And if you've had none of those things, chances are you're the problem.
You are the problem.
Yes.
Today we are joined by a comedian, former prisoner, wife and author, Andrew Hamilton. Yay! Probably our favourite wife we've ever had.
Oh my God. This is obviously in reference to poor Kate Dolan, who was referred to as a...
It's so bad. Is that bad, Hamo? Is that bad?
Yeah, it's hard to come back from that.
It really is. I was on the back foot for like 15 minutes. But
the whole episode, I think.
For the whole episode.
And she's not the kind of person that would just like leave that. She was straight onto it.
She did not let it go.
She was like, I would have rather you call me anything else.
Yeah. And then
wife.
But because I only had 3 bits of information because I don't know Kate very well. But when she walked in, she was talking about her mum who just passed away. I was like, note to self, don't bring that up. And then Bron mentioned her father who's recently passed as well. And I was like, don't mention that. So I was like, I had no other options. But anyway, she said she recently got married. So I was like,
yeah.
Cool. Wife, grieving daughter.
Okay, well, someone's taking over the podcast now. They're better at my job than me. Fuck.
Oliver Twist. Fucking, can I have some more? Fucking hell. Anyway, so thrilled that you could be on. We are, of course, in Sydney. We've flown all the way to Sydney from Melbourne. We're usually in Bodrigi Brewery. This time we were recording in Potts Point, the hottest apartment in the world.
We'd be sweating.
Dude, if you think you were sweating, I was sweating last night. Yeah, am I right, lads? Just kidding, please.
I'm so sorry.
Why were you sweating last night?
Yeah,
Not doing sex.
We believe you. Bretty and I are in Airbnb, and we've got obviously our own rooms. And Bretty had said to me, "Are you happy to share an Airbnb with me?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Do you need your own bathroom?" I was like, "No, it's fine." What do you mean? It's fine. We'll just have 2 rooms.
Well, I didn't want to hurt it. You don't feel uncomfortable.
And then last night we went out. We had a zillion drinks. I think all the drinks that King's Cross had on offer.
It's not even hot in here. That's why we're sweating. It's just alcohol coming out of my pores right now.
And then we came home. Then Brett said, "I'm going to go out for one more drink with this lady." And I said, "That's fine. You're welcome to. You have my permission." And then I was lying in bed watching my shows, and then I heard like scrambling at the door, and I was like, "What is this?"
It's like a cat wanting food.
Yeah, just an estranged husband. I've changed the lock. Anyway, then I went and I come down and I opened the door, and Brett and this lady are standing there, and they both are on a tilt, and I was like, "Hello, Brett," and you tried to be so quiet as if I hadn't seen you. You were like, "Just walk past her.
I'm so
Maybe
sorry.
she hasn't seen us." I was like, "Go, good night."
Because I actually said to you this morning, I was like, "Hey, look, you wouldn't have heard us come in. I was quiet as a mouse." She's like, "No, fuckhead. I heard you at the door trying to get in, and I woke up and opened the door for you, and I did not remember that."
No.
Yeah, you know, you had a bit to drink when you don't remember like a key memory, like who let you into your house.
And speaking of keys, I lost the fucking key as well. So
probably not you, heaps, but maybe.
No,
yeah.
can we do
I
a
reckon it's a
GoFundMe?
podcast thing because we're sharing it. So 50-50 is fair, I reckon.
No, you're going to have to go into liquidation.
Don't, it's a very
Too soon.
Too soon. It's too soon.
Oh, Hamo, you have got a really interesting story. And you must be so sick to death of talking about this. But you got into comedy after being in jail.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
I've always wanted to know this, before you went to jail, did you go see comedy a lot?
Yeah, I loved it.
And did you think, I'm going to do that one day?
No, I used to write down joke ideas in my phone, and when I was like at live gigs, like I would just, I'd get inspired.
Did you ever suggest them to the comedian? Excuse me, I've got a tag for you. I love that.
I just thought I would love to do it. And I would play around with joke ideas, but I never like looked up where like the local open mics were or anything.
Okay.
Like I never tried to actually put it into a plan. But then when I was in jail, I just started...
had a bit of free time.
I had free time.
And everything around of fucking blokes in the shower. Am I right? Yes.
Come on, mate. You're better than that.
I am not. That's the best part. I am way worse.
But yeah, there were so many funny things weirdly in jail that happened that I started writing them down. And then I made myself the promise that when I got out, I'd go to an open mic.
And what was your first gig like?
It was pretty rough. It was...
rougher than... You came from jail and you're like, dude, that open mic was rough.
Send me back to prison. Send me back.
Yeah.
It was called Crown Comedy at the Louis Hotel in Lewisham, and it was.
Why did you choose that one?
I think it was the first one that I found.
Okay,
It was
that's
just
beautiful.
yeah.
Very
I think I just
romantic.
Googled it, and then the guys there were very welcoming of me. I had to put my name in a bucket, and I got drawn out like number 28 or something like that.
Oh, dude, imagine 28 being on is rough.
Did everyone who went get a go?
Everyone gets on. Everyone gets
you
on.
You just don't know when.
And it's 5 minutes. There's no breaks. It just rolls through.
Hell.
And
You're an hour, hour
breaks.
40.
So I was. It's longer than that, because 512, so 60,
Jesus.
so like 24
Well,
is 2
so
hours.
he used to be a drug dealer. He's good with maths off the
Yeah.
top of his
So
head.
it's-
Oh yeah, I should also say that you went to jail for dealing drugs, not for hurting anyone.
That's right. It
Great,
was
I
it was
think
all
that's
the good
important.
drugs
It was
as
a
well.
cool
Worth
Yes,
pointing
yes,
out.
yes.
Psychedelics, magic mushrooms, MDMA, acid, ketamine, and a little bit of cocaine. And so it was over 2 hours. But because I had a bail curfew, I couldn't be out that late. I couldn't be on number 28. So I had to ask them.
Sorry, can I just... I've got a curfew.
I'm like, I know it's my first time here. No one knows me, but can I go on earlier, because like I have to get home
I'll
for
go
my
back to jail,
court-ordered curfew.
Oh my
But
God.
when
And-
someone says that sentence to you, though, you're like, absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing with a guy who's just been to jail.
He'll kill us. Did your mum have to go with you?
That's right, yeah, because I was under house arrest. I wasn't allowed to leave the house, so I was sitting there with my 75-year-old mum, and I'm asking to go on early. And I think the guys were like, we've never heard that excuse before, so yeah, man. So they put me
Great.
on like 12th or something like
Oh,
that.
nice.
You've got a curfew. You're there with your mum. Everyone's like, save some pussy for the rest of us, dude.
Ironically, even under those conditions, I could still get more pussy than most of the guys that were at
I
the
was
show.
still killing her.
And how'd
A
you
bunch of
go?
autistic guys and incels, and I'm like, so I'm still doing all right.
Did you do all right though? How'd your set go in front of your mum?
It went fine. I got laughs. I had a bunch of
Great.
people come up and say that was awesome. You should keep
Yes.
going. And then I got told that there was a Facebook group called Open Mic Sydney, and like so that was when I found about all the other gigs and started
Yeah.
going to shows like 5 nights a week.
Oh wow! I still went straight in. So it
Straight
became
in.
your-
I think my
became your
first
job.
year I did like 260 gigs.
So
Yeah.
an addictive personality all around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just threw myself at
And
it.
did you have a
Yeah.
day job as well?
I did. Yeah. So I was working in like corporate event management during the day, but I was.
And was that
just
your
like-
job before you became a drug dealer?
No, I was working in public relations for over like a decade. So I was just helping clients to get into the media, or when they got in trouble to stay out of it. And so,
Did
yeah.
you enjoy it?
I loved it. You know, I was pretty good at it for a long time.
So do you remember the moment where you went, because you think that people get into drug dealing because they're like, this is a really easy way to make money and I don't want a job. That's my assumption. It might be wrong. But you liked your job and you had money because you had a well-paid job that you liked. You were like, actually, I could make heaps
more money.
doing heaps more work at night time. Where was the moment that you were like, this is the right idea?
The whole time, it just happened gradually. It was just wanting to help out mates with good drugs and being the only guy that knew where to get them. And so you just like do your mates favours and you make a little bit of commission. And so
Slippery slope.
And then, then those friends have other friends who can't get any good drugs as well. So then
Got
you're
it.
like, okay, I'll help them out. And so over the
How
course,
many years did you do
all
it for?
See, this is why you're good at PR. This is why I know
Yeah.
you're good at your job, because somehow I was like, oh my God, he's actually a hero. Yeah. He's on the fucking PR trail again. Yeah.
I'm the victim here. The New
Guys, I
South
think I
Wales
see-
police locked up one of the good guys.
Yeah, I was like, the cops are dogs. He's fucking good at PR, guys. I'm hiring him for this comedy festival.
I was selling drugs for 15 years.
15 years? That's a pretty long
That's
way.
good.
Did you know you were going to get caught?
No. You're too arrogant. You think that like you're too smart and you're never
Yeah.
going to get caught. And so, I would, by the end, I was making like 30, 40 grand a week and spending 50 grand a week somehow. And like just doing the
How?
bullshit.
On what?
Amazing.
10 grand of Coke a week up my nose. I'd go out to restaurants and buy like fucking $4,000 bottles of wine.
Just
and,
for
like,
being cool. Just like, fuck it.
Gambling.
$4,000
Yeah, like
bottle of wine.
$4,000 bottles of Burgundy wine and like just
Oh my
bottles
God.
of Cristal.
See,
and
that's
like,
why I can't win lotto, because I would do that and be instantly, I would have a jet ski in a swimming pool within 10 minutes. You know
Exactly
what I mean?
right. Yeah.
I can't have money.
When it's easy money, you act like a fuckhead. I was just throwing it at the dumbest shit.
Your
But
girlfriend must have been stoked. I mean, like, this is so easy. A $4,000 bottle of wine. We drank a lot last night, but I don't know. You paid for it. Anyway, do you miss it?
the drug dealing?
Yes.
There's a twinkle in your eye, brother. I can see it.
It's not an easy answer. That's interesting.
I don't miss it. No, I don't think so. By the end, it is a job. I was doing it just
so you had 2
non-stop
jobs. Yeah.
every day. Oh, by the end, I wasn't working my day job
Oh, you quit.
because I just became too much of a cokehead and I became unreliable. And so I started arguing with my business partner. And so I just quit that and went to full-time dealing. But that was after many, many years. At the start, I kept the day job because I needed something to stimulate me mentally. If I was just a drug dealer, I would have gone insane because I was so bored. So I just kept the day job. I didn't need the money, but I just kept it just for a challenge. And so,
something to do. Yeah.
Challenge. Can I get through this day without a nosebleed? Yeah, that's fun.
But I ended up getting pay rise after pay rise at these jobs because I'd be good at it, and I'd say I'm going to quit because I don't need this job, and I'd be like, well, what if we just increased your salary by heaps? And I was like, well, I guess
I never thought of that. Yeah.
So if you treat a job like you don't really want it, but you're also good at it, you find that people will throw money at you for you to stay.
Well, that's good to know. I might do that in comedy.
But it helps.
Do some open
But it
mics.
helps if you actually do have a secondary stream of income, so that you can
if
back
you
it up.
genuinely don't care
I think
about it.
they need to know that you mean it when you're like, I could just fucking go.
I'm going to fucking go. Dude, you've got no other fucking options. You're like, I actually do. Can I ask this I think, would you have a constant level of anxiety as a dealer going, I would be like, I'm going to get caught. Have I done this? Have I done that? I'd be constantly,
what's in
as a
the
criminal,
car?
you'd be like, they're on to me. I would be, it would fucking ruin my day.
I think if you just do one crime, you would feel that. Like if you decided to rob a bank or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do it all the time and it's your career, all these things become normalized. So I would have done probably over 50,000 drug deals before I got caught, and
allegedly, if they're still trying to get you don't know. Allegedly, yeah.
You've admitted to it. That's why I love this so much because it must feel so freeing to be so open about it.
Totally.
Yeah.
After having this double life for so long, would I be in an office advising people about how to get into the Australian Financial Review, and then during my lunch break, I'd be on King Street doing a drug deal for 10 grand during my lunch break.
Jesus. And then also obviously hiding it from your parents and everyone else in your family.
I bet your friends normally know. That's probably
Friends
one of the
know.
reasons they want to be your friend.
Yeah.
And
Did you lose a lot of friends?
Yeah, I did. There's friends that you think are going to be there when shit hits a fan, and then when I was under house arrest, only 20% of my mates actually came to visit me when I was under house arrest. And
really?
Yeah, but then people that you don't expect to be there come out of the woodwork and support you as well. So it's nice. People that you thought would be there aren't, but then people you didn't expect are. And so that's why I'm like, it's not all bad. It's just, when shit hits a fan, it's a great clarifier in terms of who your friends are.
Now, you are one of the kindest people I think I've ever met. You're so nice. We made it. Well, no, you truly are. And when people would know that there was something went downhill in the comedy world where someone wronged a lot of people, and a lot of people were really upset about it, rightly so. And you made a post saying, "Look, I've lost a lot of money, but people make mistakes, and I don't hold any hatred towards this person."
Yeah, and because I would have reacted very differently.
Yeah, Freddie would
I would have been
killed
like,
him.
I got a baseball bat, can't you owe me 50K, or you're not going to walk again. Which one is it?
I used to make 30 grand a week, so my sense of money
Your sense of what
is
money is.
also a bit broken, you know?
Yeah,
So
Were you
You're I get it, dude. Yeah,
Do you think if you didn't go through this, would you still? I think what I'm asking is, were you this kind before this chapter of your life where you made a big mistake and you had to pay for it?
I think so. I don't think that part of me has changed at all.
Oh.
I think the things that I appreciate the most have changed. I think. After having money and never doing anything really good with it, I think my sense of appreciation for just the simple things, just friends and your health and a good sense of humour, I appreciate all that stuff a bit more. But I think I've always been optimistic, always. And so I think...
Well, you have to be optimistic if you're drug dealing for 15 years to be like, I'm never going to get caught.
Yes.
But also to be in prison and be like, I'm going to start writing jokes about this. You know?
Yeah. Guys, I reckon I can make a book out of this shit. What do you reckon?
And I heard that you said when you were in prison, your lawyer came and was like, I'm really sorry, but I think we're going to have, it's going to take a little bit longer. And you were like, it's fine.
I said, take your time. Because I was...
You having fun in there?
I was having a great time. Yeah, because I think... Because I was such a cokehead and my life was so stressful between just trying to keep everyone happy. I had a restaurant which was struggling financially.
What was for money laundering? You had the restaurant as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I was pumping money through that, but I was struggling because of COVID, and I had a friends and family and a fiance, and everyone wanted the world from me, and so I had so much pressure. So going to jail and your only job is to survive, like that's it. Just felt quite relaxing because it was like the pressure's off. Now I just have to make sure I live through the next day. And so I was in there while people were, locked in their houses having mental health issues because of the COVID lockdown. I'm in prison and it felt like rehab to me because I got off drugs. I was exercising. I was playing touch footy. I was watching Shawshank Redemption.
Getting ideas.
I'm surprised they let you watch Shawshank Redemption and they're like, all right, boys, you can watch this, but no fucking spoons or posters, yeah?
I'm clawing on the walls, being is this coming off? How durable are they? Yeah.
So did you, when you were in there and you felt like you were having a break, that must have been really nice. And when you, and these must sound like such silly questions, and you must get them all the time, but if you had, you were like, I didn't do anything with my money. You had a restaurant and I'm sure you had a car. Did you have an apartment or a house or anything?
I just rented a townhouse.
But if you get done for drugs, do all your assets just get taken by the government?
Well, I didn't have that much cash flow because it was all going into the restaurant.
Okay.
And that went under, so I lost all that. And so I ended up declaring bankruptcy when I got out because otherwise the only way I would have dug myself out of the hole is selling drugs again probably. But, they didn't really take too much
but did they take
from
your car?
me. I didn't have a car. I used a GoGet car share just because I was like, no one's ever going to look for a drug dealer driving around in a tiny little Toyota Yaris.
I always say that if you're a fucking drug dealer, these cunts get the fucking Mercedes. It's like you look like a drug dealer, dude.
Yeah, I was trying to be invisible, and so I was for 15 years until my fiance really told them that I was a drug dealer. But
she did you wrong. She was your Judas. Oh my god.
Well, she'd had too much cocaine and just lost the plot, I think. But I don't kind of hold that against her. I was the one that introduced her to so much cocaine that made her flip out. So it was a bad living environment.
That's a really nice way to look at it. So it is
positive.
Your fault. Yeah, because you could be. I imagine someone else would be very cross at her for a really long time.
I think there was a time when I was in jail where I did kind of stew on a lot of my friends who had bailed on me and my fiance and stuff, and I was like, if I sit here and meditate on hate, this is going to lead me down a very bad path, where my head could go. And I was like, I just need to let this go, and I did, and that was just so much more freeing. Just to be like,
that's
nice.
Great.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you've got a very different work history than most of the people that we've had on. What is the worst?
Well, there's a lot of comedians that don't have jobs.
I sold marijuana
true.
once. Okay.
I know. We've had.
I called it marijuana. I've bought a lot of drugs off drug dealers, but I have not.
Ecstasy tablets and the such.
Yes.
So did what is the worst job you've ever had?
Worst job I ever had. I think I was maybe 15, and I worked at Boost Juice in Hornsby.
Oh my God. Did they put you in little sexy hot shorts and just dance into Katy Perry?
So that's what I thought. I thought I was going to be one of the hot people with the blender.
Yeah. And a bandana.
I was not that. That was the dream they sell you on. I was like a fruit camel. I had to go...
You're a stinker out the back.
I'm just the guy who has to go to the storeroom every 20 minutes to get more pineapples and mangoes and do all the backbreaking labour while the hot people make the juices.
I wonder if they assessed you.
I'm like Quasimodo out the back, hey, you want some more? Here's some more pineapple. And I'm like,
they're like, whipping you, get out of here, you fucking stinker. We're trying to sell fucking mango lassies or whatever the fuck.
Fucko. They almost saw you.
Yeah.
Put your bandana over your face.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had the back-breaking sweaty job, and it sucked, and it was not worth it.
Because they wouldn't have heaps of fridge space. So they're like, some cunt's job is to go to the back freezer and just keep bringing
back and forth, man.
Fuck. Actually, that would have been the right job, though, wouldn't it?
No.
You don't have to deal with people.
But
you wanted to be the hot guy.
I wanted to be the hot guy, sitting next to the hot chicks, just flirting with them, making, Albury bangs. And
Speaking of Albury bangs, and they're like, yes.
Oh my God, you can't ever work there.
No, but that is the dream. It's like I wanted to work at Subway for the same reason, because at Subway in Forestfield, there was one guy who used to work there, and dude, he he was a pants man. He was like, every chick was talking about the guy at Subway.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to work at Subway so all these chicks want to root me. But then I did a 4-hour shift and I was like, it's actually just because he's hot. I had nothing, because I had the uniform on and I was still getting no respect.
It's crazy how that works.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the outfit. Because
Women just are like, oh, I'd love a sandwich artist.
and it's like, no, wait. He's just a 10 in a hat, Subway. I put the Subway hat on. I was still getting no respect and treated like shit. That's why I walked out after 4 hours of fucking cunts anyway.
So, we learn these things. There's the dream of the job and there's the reality of it.
And as a 16-year-old, you're like, what is going to get me a smooch? Every single job is that way related. Unfortunately, it is.
And then did you get a smooch? No.
Nah. And then I went and worked at the airport on the forklift. I was like, fuck this.
Did you get any smooches there?
Yeah, but by a guy called Gary.
That also sounds like a much more fun job.
It was way more fun. Actually, it was one of my favourite jobs because there was kind of no rules. Heaps of people would smoke bongs in the car park before you do it, or you drink before your shift. And it was just so much fun. They used to put you in these things called tugs, which pull planes, and they had a big iron plate on the front, and we used to just drive into each other at full stick. It was the best.
Darwinism. I can't believe it.
Oh my God. And they'd let you onto the airport and you'd be drunk on the airstrip loading mail into these planes. They put horses on there sometimes. It was fucking sick.
Horses.
I might sign up. Are they still hiring?
Man, not after I keep slagging off the industry. I mean, we used to steal so much shit from there as well. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Stole vouchers.
I know. You told me this.
I had a mate that worked at baggage at the airport, and he used to talk about how much the guys there would just go through people's bags and steal shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so annoying.
It really, that's why I don't trust any luggage.
For
handlers.
you, but for them, it was great.
Right.
Yeah.
New
Okay,
iPad.
you're right. You always look at the silver lining.
Positive side. That's it.
For the Steelers, amazing.
You lost an iPad, but he gained one.
Let's focus less on
positive
you
thinking.
And more on the thief. Well, that would be really annoying, actually. I'm never going to check my baggage in.
Well, can I ask a question? Because my brother's a fucking screw. Are most screws cunts?
No, I wouldn't say most. I think that there's a lot of them will say, you treat us with respect, you get respect back.
Yep.
I thought that at Long Bay, they were pretty decent, 99% of them. I thought at Park Lee, which is a private prison, huge different. No, most of them are public.
Oh.
Run by the government. But, but Park Lee is privately run. And there's just a huge difference, I think, in just
Can you
terms
elect
of...
to go into if you've got the cash to do that? How does that happen?
You got to get a good score to on HSC to get into a private prison.
I was actually like, oh, okay. You're really tricky. And you can tell I didn't get a good score. I actually got 69, which is so sick. Yeah, I got 69.9 or something. I was like, I didn't get into any of the shit. But this is a sexual position.
It's totally random. Park Lee's considered a transit prison. So when you first get arrested, they send you to a couple of prisons, mainly Silverwater and Park Lee, before you get sorted out to based on your charges, where they'll send you after that. So
it's like a hotel situation. I was at Park Lee, but I'm more of a whatever the other one's called. I'm more of a Long Bay guy. Better vibe.
Because of my charges, I was class A, which is the most hectic. It's the same as murder.
Oh, really? You put in with the pedos and shit?
Well, no, the pedos are in a separate one. They're in something called the boneyard, which is the protection wings.
My brothers, they call it H block. I think they're H over there.
Yeah, okay. So, we refer to it as the boneyard. That's usually police informants and rapists, pedophiles, anything like that.
Oh my God, so police informants have to go sit with the yucky pedos.
Yeah, all those guys that are...
So just because they'll get killed?
They'll all get bashed and killed, if that's right.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe not the police informants. They're doing their best.
No one likes a fucking dobber.
No one likes.
Really?
No one likes a
Fucking
dog.
snitch, mate.
I'm watching Sopranos at the moment. Come on, sometimes you have to, and then for your life. Anyway, but the pedos, you kind of want to put them. Surely,
pedos, you're like, don't put me in with the pedos. Fuck, I'm not one of those.
As a screw, you'd be like, just put them in. Just we'll say it was a mistake. Pop them in there. In
the pedo wing, I'd be like, oh, the door's unlocked. Whoopsie.
Sometimes guys lie about the fact that they're a pedo to go into the main yard, and then
that's such a wild. Actually, I fuck kids. Can I please go into the nice area?
Because they want to go into the other one.
They want to be. They don't want to be in the boneyard, right? They want to be in the main. They want to be in the main yard.
They
so when they go in, they'll be asked when you first arrive at prison,
Yes.
they say like, are you a member of any gangs or do you need protection, right? Because like if you're part of a bikie club or something like that, they need to make sure they put you in the right yards because otherwise if you've got beefs, it'll kick off straight away. Or otherwise, if you need protection, they'll put you straight into the protection wing. But if you say no to both those things, they'll put you in the main yard.
Okay, so if you're a pedophile, they don't just as put you in there straight away.
Correct.
You get to choose.
You get to choose. And so there are sometimes
so
guys that'll lie in the yard about what they're in there for.
You would though, wouldn't you? Of
But
course
they'll
you'd do
find out
that.
eventually by looking at your sheet.
Well, I mean, when you're in prison, you don't have access to just go look up at someone's sheet, right? And if you do have your sheet, you might fucking make sure it disappears very quickly, so they can't find it in your cell. But sometimes those guys, when you go to like a family visit, there'll be a screw that'll go up to like another inmate and just be like, "Watch that guy around your kids," just like a little tip off, just so that you know.
And then everyone knows.
Everyone knows.
And everyone knows, and then he dies.
Well,
Has a rough
most
time.
of the time, someone will find out like that everyone in the yard's going to get this guy, and then the screws will get him out of there before it happens.
The whispers, just act, don't talk about it.
Like there was a guy in my yard at Long Bay who I knew I had walked to do a video conference with my lawyer on a day where he was in front of me and I saw the back of his head for like ages because he was walking in front of me. And then that day on the news, there was a news story about him, but his face was blurred out, but they had the back of his head and it was talking about how he had been in prison for bashing and robbing the elderly. And so like I'm sitting in my cell and my cellmate goes, is that Pete? And I'm like, I think it is. And so then you could hear through the whole fucking prison wing, people yelling out, Peter. And so
Oh my God,
the
poor
next
Peter's
day, and he was popular. You know, he had a job as a sweeper. He was like well respected in the yard, but he'd lied the whole time about what he was in there for. And so the next day, you could hear guys planning. They were like, okay, as soon as he gets out, you hold him, and I'll get him. And like,
Jesus Christ. Yeah, but
Peter's fucked.
fuck. He's
But-
fucked.
Peter would've
Did they
been-
get him out of there?
he never came to the yard that day. They moved him.
Fuck. Because you never really know what anyone's done in there because you'd keep it under wraps, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So-
like that's
Well,
why
you
people
must have
like
something cool like drug dealing for 15
I'll be
years,
telling everyone.
driving a rental car.
people thought it was
GoGet.
hilarious that I was in there for mushrooms. You know?
Yeah.
Were they like,
That's
do they
really
look at you like
funny.
you're a soft cock? Like, look at the fucking old cunt over here.
Not a soft cop, but like not a joke,
do.
like not a real,
Yeah.
not a real,
Not a real criminal.
But especially because you're class a class A. Is that what they say? Class A.
Class A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Large
they're like
commercial
for
supply.
mushrooms.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. It is funny to them. And like because I was like a one man band, not involved in like I didn't have a gang. So like I'm not considered a real crib in
Could have
their eyes.
recruited
Was
Peter.
anyone in there for like something really lame? Like, I don't know what it would,
Yeah,
like, is there one
Andrew.
that, besides that, but was there something that people were like, dude, can you believe this guy's in here? He slipped on a banana, fell through a window and then got done for this, you know?
There was a guy who was in there for driving while disqualified in a maximum security prison. What the fuck? With like guys in there for double homicides, and he's in there in the yard with me. I'm like, dude, what do you mean? Like, what are you doing here? And he goes, that's my 11th time. And at that point, the judge must have been like, I don't know what else to do with you.
Brother, you're not learning, so I've got to. You're
in
like,
the boneyard.
and it was a double demerit weekend. You're in with a pedo. See you later.
So, like, to be clear, this is remand, right? This is unsentenced prison. So it's
Right.
like you get sent there sometimes before your whole case goes to court. And so sometimes judges just sent you to prison just as like a slap on the wrist
Yeah.
to be like, just
A
spend some
warning.
time in there,
Yeah.
just so that when we eventually go to court, then we'll sentence you to like a corrections order, whatever.
Yeah,
You don't have to
okay.
be in prison any longer, but we need to send you away for a little bit.
And
just
will
to
that be
like-
on your record that you went to jail even at that stage, or even if it's still
that
okay.
still counts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long were you in jail for?
4 months.
And were you in there for how long in the remand part for?
So that's all I was in. So I
No,
was
you
in
didn't
2
have to
months
go to
in
Long Bay.
Park. So I was in remand at Parklea, and then I got moved to Long Bay, which has also got a remand.
Okay. And did you expect to stay longer?
I thought I was going to be in there for years. I thought I'd already made peace with the fact that I was in prison for
Really?
years.
You're like,
yeah,
this is fine.
yeah.
Made friends,
I
Steve.
think the first few weeks, I thought I was going to get bail. I mean, when I got sent straight to remand, I was already planning like my next drug deals that day. I thought, I'll get out today, and then the judge was like, "No, you go to prison," and I was like, "Fuck!" And then, I thought I was going to get my lawyer was going to get me out within like 2 weeks, and so still I was chill because I was like my head was still out of prison. But then once I realised I was going to be in there for ages. And I accepted that. Then I started to have a good time in prison because I just let go of my old life and was just like, I'm now just a guy in prison. And then once you let go, I think, and just like, this is my life now.
This is what it is.
Then you start to be like, okay, well, let's make the most of it.
Because if you fought it, you'd be so fucking depressed. You're like, no, I'm getting out tomorrow.
A lot of guys get in their own head about a lot of stuff. They call it just head miles, when you're just stuck in your own head for miles and miles and miles, and guys get really down and dark. And particularly when you're in remand, before you get sentenced, when there's so many question marks about how long you're going to be in prison for, all this kind of stuff, it can really get on. It can really get to people because you just want it over. You're like, I don't care if I do 3 years, 5 years. I just want a result so I can just start to get something.
So I know how long I'm in here for.
Yeah.
I know when the end is, when that grey area. That limbo.
The unknown would fucking suck.
Yep. So the day I got bail, I didn't expect to get it. I was like, well, we'll give this a crack. Yep. And I went to court and I was wearing like glasses and I had like a Game of Thrones book with me because I was like, maybe if I look like I'm a book nerd,
intellect,
maybe I look like an intellect. Dude, maybe he'll be like,
every time I go to court,
it was the thickest book I could find. So I'm like,
this guy fucking loves Dragon.
We've arrested the wrong man. I thought the judge might be like we can't have this.
It's also like the most
fantasy
it's
nerd.
not even like a smart person's book. It's like a
it's just a fantasy. Are you a wizard?
I thought he would be like, this man's an intellectual. We need to let him out.
This cunt definitely takes shrooms if he's reading a book about dragons and fucking whatever.
I don't think the judge could see through the screen what book it was. It was just a fucking
big
thick tome.
dictionary.
And you kept pointing at it, like winking at him, wearing glasses.
Yeah. So you're looking at the wrong person because your glasses weren't yours. You're just like,
but I reckon that's true because every time I go to court, you got to look. I always wear because I fight every
time you go to court. Yeah,
I've been to court 12 times. I go to fight charges. I refuse to get fines or whatever. I always fight them. It's all parking fines. I'm a pussy, dude. I'm not cool like you.
But you got to suit up.
You got to suit up. You got to pull the mullet back, and you got to stand up when the judge enters the room. You got to say Your Honor. All those things add like 20% to like you. Like they're like, all right, everything starts dropping quickly.
Absolutely,
100%. People don't think about that.
That's exactly why I did the book of the glasses.
That's why you had the fucking book of dragons.
And it worked.
It worked. I got bail that day.
Smart guy can leave.
We can't let this guy in.
Did you have a party did your mum and dad throw you a party when you got out?
Nah, I'm not.
Can't imagine them in Stokes.
I'm not from a crime family, one of those ones where you you go home and all the cousins and uncles, they're like, that a boy, and you didn't talk, and that's respect, that kind of stuff. Nah, none of that. We just went home, and then eventually, friends and family started coming by to visit me. But I talked to everyone in jail about like, where's the first place you go when you get out? Because I was like, is it Macca's, HJ's, KFC? And that's it, bro. And most of the guys were like, the brothel. What are you talking about? Like, so I hadn't.
I reckon this is sad, but I reckon Hungry Jack's. I'd be craving Hungry Jack's.
I got Macca's.
Yeah, right.
So did you go to the brothel after that?
Well, no. Mum didn't want to come with me.
That's why you still got to take your mum. Hey, Mum, can you hold my McNuggets while I go get a gobby?
No, she probably would have to sit in the room with me,
Mum, block your eyes. Please, I'm trying to get a room.
If you think what I did before was bad, you wait and see what I'm going to do in here, Mum. Oh, my God.
Andrew, make sure you have a shower and use your manners, please.
Oh, my goodness.
Fuck, okay. I didn't even think of that. But that actually would be, most dudes from jail would go straight to a knock shop.
I think
a what shop?
A knock shop. That's...
Knock? What's the knock?
You're knocking them up.
Knocking the ass out of a chick? What are you?
Yeah.
Knocking the ass out of a chick?
It's called a knock shop. I don't know why.
Knocking in a shift? What are you? Yeah.
Knocking what?
Knocking one out.
Knocking on a shift. Knocking one out.
On a shift.
Knocking out a shift. Come on, mate.
Knocking out a shift.
Knock shop. You never heard of that?
I actually don't know what. I always say knock shop, but I don't know.
I think I heard you say it yesterday. I was like, I don't know what he's trying to say.
It's a fucking knock shop over there.
He's trying his best over there. He's putting words together.
Yeah, he's having a go.
Okay, so it's a thing, knock shop.
It's a knock shop. Yeah.
You hate that.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate what you said.
What?
Knocking the arm. I hate
what?
I'm upset. Before when I said you're a nice guy, take it back.
I was trying to translate his vulgarity for you.
Oh, don't bring me down. I thought it was like knocking on heaven's door. You know what I mean? I'm a gentleman over here. Knock. Now, I've got to ask this. This is job related. Obviously, so now on your CV, when they say, have you ever been to jail or whatever, have you been applying for jobs and has it actually put people off hiring you or you're just a full-time comic now and you never have to worry about it?
I haven't had to worry about it because the only professional job I've had since jail. My mate organised it for me, and the boss knew straight away. They're like, "Hey, I've just got a mate who's just got out of prison, and we can get him at a discount because he
has no other options."
You also have to hire his mum, but
Yeah.
But because of my background in PR, like I was pretty good at it. When I was like 27, I won there's a marketing magazine called B&T, and they had I won the B&T 30 under 30 awards when I was 27.
Oh, wow.
So like I was good at the job.
Yeah.
So
do you miss that job?
Sorry?
Do you miss that job?
The PR job? Not really. I think I kind of, when you get to the pointy end of it, because I was running a business, you find that you do far less of the actual job that you love than you're just managing people, and people suck.
Right.
Having to hire people, manage people, fire people. Firing people sucks.
Yeah,
because you got to like
break someone's heart.
well, you got to sit there with like a list of like reasons why they've fucked up for so long, and you got to like you got to, and it's always the day that you're going to fire them. They'll end up like having like a red hot day, like they're actually good at their job that day, and you got to like look at this list like, no, fuck this cunt. This is.
And that's not in your nature to focus on the negative.
But you
that's
have to. And you got to
nice.
go in like, hey, mate, can we have a quick chat? And then you got to like, mate, we're letting you go. Here are the reasons. And like one of them was like, I worked with this like bicycle company, and we had a staff member who like, this is at a professional communications company, and he kept misspelling the word bicycle in like just so many.
And that was one of the reasons he went.
Yeah.
You had to get rid of him.
Bicyle.
I could relate to this guy. I would absolutely do that.
Bicyle.
What's a fucking bicyle, fuckhead? And this is, we hired you because you're good at spelling. No. What the fuck's a bicyle? So
that's a way to wow, what a way to get fired. Poor fella. You'll never look at a bike the same again.
No.
But no, I haven't had to worry about it, and now I'm just doing full-time comedy, so I haven't had to worry about that. But also, I think that now I've gone so far with all my jokes that are like so drug heavy. I'm like, it's like I've like got like I've done the comedy equivalent of doing like a face tattoo, right? So it's like, now I was like so much social media of me talking about drugs in prison.
Yep.
I need comedy to work out because it would be hard to go back. I mean, I could work as a tradie for sure, but like I couldn't go back to a white collar job because people would be like,
Look at the guy. Yeah.
I reckon they'd love it. They're like, man, he's on the TV and shit.
the guy that's advising me on how to get into the Fin Review was just talking about cocaine getting blown up his ass.
I personally think it's great PR, you know.
Well, you've gone absolutely viral on Instagram and on the socials and TikTok. How are you enjoying that? How do you find social media? It's a huge part of your job.
It is, and yeah, I think it's very surreal. Like now, like I'll have people stopping me. I wouldn't say I'm famous, but people know my face because of like so many videos that have been. They'll be like, "You're that idiot that laughs at his own jokes on the internet," or like, "You're that," or "You're joke guy." And I'm like, all right, that's a start.
That's pretty nice.
We'll take
that's
it.
One way to say comedian. That's all right.
Joke guy. So yeah, it's helping to sell tickets, which is the main reason I do it. But yeah, I just started doing a new comedy YouTube channel with a few other comedians called the OG Crew, and that is looking like it might actually be profitable. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you. That's exciting. So
okay, next question. Can we have some money?
Yeah. Man, we can't even afford a fucking fan in this place.
You did. You bought a fan.
Yeah,
You're doing well. It's right on you. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, so what is the worst? We always ask this of people. What is the worst gig you've ever done? So how long have you done comedy for? Like how many years now? 4?
It's like 2.5.
That's so fucking annoying, dude. You're like 2.5 years in, and you're like, you got way more Instagram followers me. You got a book. You got this. I'm like, fuck, I need to be better at comedy.
You gotta go to jail, Brady. That's what you
I've got to go to
do.
jail.
You got to go to jail,
Finally,
mate.
I knew that was the answer.
I can't stress enough how important it is to go to jail.
Right, I'm doing a murder.
2.5 years.
Yep.
You've done heaps in that 2.5 years. Like Brady said, you got the book, but you also were nominated
But
for
your show was great because I went and saw your show
You did.
last year.
Yes,
I
you
was
did.
so excited to see it because I'm like, I was trying to write a show that's about me instigating a riot, and I wanted to see how someone handled a different, like a non-digestible fucking topic. You know what I mean? And like, how can you approach that differently? And I was like, I'll go watch this, and I really enjoyed how you handled it.
You came at the back end when people were actually coming to the show. It's like it was like a grim start because I got rejected by the festival for one of their rooms. I had like I applied to every other room. Couldn't. The only one that would give me a space was a tiny cocktail bar at like 10:40 at night, and so I just wanted to be there, and so I just said yes, and so it was pretty grim at the start. I think my first night, I had like 5 tickets sold, and then 17 people showed up and bought tickets on the door. And I'm like, fuck, this is sick. I'm going to fucking rip this.
Yeah.
And the next night I had 4 tickets sold. I'm like, that's fine. People will show up. And then no one else came. It was just 4 people. And was
that the lowest amount, the smallest? Yeah, okay. And was it all right or was it hard?
It was fine. In hindsight now, I know I probably should have asked them if they want to even do the show when it's only like 4 people, because it's a lot of pressure.
No, I reckon some of the best shows I've done are to they probably hated it, but I went to 3 or 4 people. You know what I mean? Like I've had some ripper gigs like that. I've had some awful ones as well.
You're
never
right.
Experienced it. So.
Brian also
What,
does
just
very
always
well.
big crowds, just from the start?
No, I think the smallest I had was 17.
Fuck, that must be nice.
People would kill for 17.
I know. No, I'm not complaining. I'm saying, but I think if I had, it's like I've heard people say they perform to 1.
I've seen one, and it was Kyle Legacy. And he and then he sat there was a table in the room, and the guy sat at the back, and he's like, do you want to come to the front? Because I got to do crowd work. And I was like, you can't do crowd work to one person. And then Kyle had no money.
Mate.
He had no money, so he went in. He goes, look, I'm not going to, there's no refunds on this show. And the guy's like, okay, well, you got to do the show then. And so Kyle sat at the table with him and just had a conversation with him for 45 minutes.
Kyle is probably one of the best equipped to handle a crowd of that little, but...
I don't think he knows if there's people in the audience or not. Yeah, he's fine. So you had, but your show in particular is such a hard time slot, and then it just kicked off. Filled up.
People started coming. Yeah, I think because I had the latest show on in the entire festival most nights except for weekends by 2 hours. Like there was no shows on past 9
So
p.m.
they must have offered you that spot thinking he's not going to take it. And then you took it and they were like, fuck, we have to, all right, we're still got to be here. There's some idiots who you show at 10:40 at night.
Yeah.
I had 11 o'clock one year. It was fucking awful.
It fucks with me because I'd do the show. I would feel good because the show went well. I'd be buzzing. I'd go to the festival club, drink till 3 a.m. Then I would go home. I'd have 4 hours sleep. Then I'd have to wake up and do my day job all day at the festival. And then I would have a nap at 5 p.m. and then have at 8 p.m. I would have 3 coffees and a hot shower just to jolt myself up to do the show again at 10:40. And it was just this is not sustainable.
No, this is actually worse than your drug problem. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That is
so
not healthy.
But the show was so good and so well received that you were nominated for Best Newcomer, and then the next year you get a much better room and a better time slot. Oh, you did Spleen, did you not?
And it was sick.
Dude, I love Spleen. It looks so good.
It was amazing. Yeah, I think I ended up doing 27 shows. And I sold out 23 of them or something like that. And it was a lot of fun. So, yes.
And are you doing a show next year?
Yeah, next year I'm just going to do the prison show again, which has now become kind of a best of my first 2 years.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, I feel I don't really feel like I need to park it because I've only been doing comedy for a couple of years and the show's getting better every time I do it.
Yeah.
So, why would I...
Sensible.
And more people are now finding it as well, you know?
Exactly. The first year that I did it, fuck all people saw it in Melbourne. So I'm I might as well just run it back.
I couldn't agree with that more because sometimes every year we write a fucking show and then it's gone and people don't see it and then it's just done. And, write another one. It's I reckon you can give it a couple of years and people can actually come and watch it as many times as they fucking want.
Yep.
That's my thought.
So I agree.
Where are you going? Where are you taking it? Adelaide?
I'm going to do just a work in progress in Adelaide and I will do it in Perth. I'm doing a work in progress in Perth and the prison show in Perth.
Yep.
I'm going to be there for forever because my girlfriend lives over there. So I thought I might as well stay over there for a little bit.
Yeah, great.
But yeah, then I'll do it in Melbourne and then maybe Edinburgh. I'm allowed out of the country again from December 23.
Oh, congratulations.
See you later, Mum. I'm free.
Yeah, does your mum have to go with you?
Absolutely not. No,
Okay,
I'm a
she
free
must
man.
be congratulations.
I'll bring her anyway. She's a great hang.
Yeah, Edinburgh will be great. They'll love it. And are you going to do? Are you doing Brisbane, Sydney? Are you obviously doing Sydney?
I've done the show in Sydney and Brisbane already, so I'm probably going to sit on those ones. I might just do some more national touring.
Yep.
Because I found that in the regions I've sold really well.
Oh, great.
Everywhere I've gone. So I just want to do more of that.
Like country towns and stuff like that?
Just name a fucking town that nobody does comedy in and I'll go there and I'll...
That's what I started doing last year and I found, or this year, and I had way more fun. I'd do a random gig like Armidale, Tannerfield, and you get 70 people. There's nothing else on. Thanks for coming. I'm having a great night. Hell yeah.
I did Central and North Queensland last month and I did Wednesday night, Gladstone, 250 people. Townsville.
Oh my God.
Townsville, Mackay, like 250 people at each show.
Did you jump on Alpha Blokes when you were in Gladstone?
I did.
They're good dudes, aren't they?
They're amazing. Yeah. So the Alpha Blokes is like one of the biggest podcasts in Australia, and they have an event called Alpha Events, and they have an event that they run every year called the Potty Royale, which is a boxing tournament where only other podcasters fight each other.
It's insane.
And I'm fighting in it. I'm the headline fight.
Oh, what are you fighting?
I'm fighting a guy named Bryce from a podcast called the Dead Ass Podcast, and he's like a funeral director. Like he manages death all the time. And so
is he a
I don't
big
know if
unit?
He's big. Yeah.
Are you shitting or what?
Well, you're training for that.
I
Is this what you're
haven't been
for?
training as much as I need to be, but yes, it's not till April 26th. So
Is that what you're training for?
Yes.
Is this the whole purpose?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, I'm fighting.
Are you scared?
no, I've been punched in the head heaps.
Do you
I
get
used to,
punched?
once again, let's go back to being a drug dealer.
Did you get punched in prison? Did you ever get in a fight?
No, I never got in a fight.
Did you watch heaps of fights?
Not really. They're usually very quick. Like you turn your head and there's a guy bleeding everywhere, and like that's it. Like, but yeah. Usually the violence there happens real quick, and like you just unless you're watching it, you miss it. It's like.
Have you watched the movie? It's an Australian movie that's just come out on binge called How to Make Gravy.
Oh no, I haven't. I haven't seen it.
It's
about
dad goes to prison,
Yeah.
and there's lots of prison scenes, and there's this horrific scene where a guy gets punched so hard in the face that it takes the wind out of you watching it. I'm like, oh, and prison looks horrible. Anyway, I don't know anything about prison, obviously, but that movie, I'm like, I probably won't go.
yeah,
And you have a great review of it, but that
You don't think you'll go to
I
jail?
I might not go to that.
Okay.
I think my experience isn't the most common experience. A lot of guys
Yeah.
do have a hard time in there,
Yeah.
one way or another. Not necessarily violence or anything like that, but just like with their mental health and the struggles of it.
Well, like,
But,
especially with their
Well,
withdrawing
yeah,
and
10
also the
years and-
shame and like, you know, they've upset their families. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah, I had a guy message me recently who had just finished reading my book that he just got out on bail, and he was like, couldn't relate more, and he was like, mate, I actually miss prison.
Yeah.
And I do understand that a little bit because there's some people who your life can be such a mess that it can be quite relaxing in there. You don't have to pay rent. You know, someone feeds you. You just
Yes,
gotta
food,
fucking
it's
survive.
kind of chill. It's
There's
like
routine.
your routine. That's a big one, I'd say.
A blanket.
Now, we
This-
ask this of every single guest.
Wait.
What is
Worst gig. So sorry.
What is the worst gig?
Yeah, so sorry, Brady, I interrupted you. I'm
No, it's all
very
right.
sorry
You
about
go.
that. 'Cause it was the 4 people. Is this what you were getting at? The 4 people in the second
Oh, no, that
night?
wasn't the worst gig. No,
Okay,
that
so
was
what's the
fine.
worst gig?
No, this is what I want to hear.
The worst gig I did was actually recently. There's like a group of, I won't name the group, but they're like a collective of CEOs, and they
This
hired
already
me.
sounds
Yeah, what's the
awful.
proper noun for that?
Cunts?
Collective now, sorry.
And they hired me to do a corporate gig at their dinner. And it was like in a restaurant, and it's like just a bunch of CEOs, and it was just like not the right room for comedy. They were like it was like middle of their dinner. I like interrupted them to like suddenly do stand up, and
Well, they haven't even finished eating. Andrew Hamilton, this is disgusting.
then I did a pedophile joke that just like did not.
This would have
go
killed in the
well.
boneyard, dude.
And the part of the punchline of the joke is that like I had told the joke to a bunch of sex offenders in a juvie, and they didn't laugh. And so my punchline was like, now I know that sex offenders don't laugh at pedophile jokes. But this is after I had just bombed in this entire room, and so nobody's laughing. And so I'm like, oh, what does that say about this room? And so I'm like,
Oh, you're like, so you guys are all pedos, yeah?
oh my
so
God.
anyway, it was stressful, and like the only silver lining I thought was like I'm getting paid well to be here, but it was traumatic, and I think that's a lot of these like, a
all
lot of corporate gigs. You're like, I hate everything about what just happened. The only silver lining is that I'm getting paid decently. For
I don't know
this.
who
Yes,
thinks
you
it's going to
can't
make their day better, but I mean, I mentioned this on the live podcast 2 days ago, but you'll love this. So I rocked up with an iWatch, and I was doing a gig for a company that does watches. So let's just, it's a GPS brand. So let's just say it's Navman for the sake of the joke. So they give me a Navman watch. I put it on, and then they're like, oh, yeah, just do your set. You know, don't show your iWatch,
It
whatever.
was like the organiser's watch. She
The
said, "Just borrow
the
mine."
organizer watch, she gave me her watch,
Yep.
but her watch was connected to her phone. And during the set, someone messaged her saying, who booked this fucking guy?
Oh yes.
So I get a buzz and I look at the watch and I'm like, motherfuckers.
Who is it? Oh man, that's so fucked. That's so funny.
It's so funny.
The brutal heckle.
Well, I thought that I ate shit and I went home traumatized after this whole thing. But then the next day they reviewed. They said, "Hey Andrew, we did they must have done some kind of exit interview with everyone for the dinner, and they were like, we gave you a 9.2." And
Nice.
so
Out of 1 million.
I'm gonna know.
yeah, they didn't say out of what.
So anyway, they seemed
That's
happy.
pretty
So
good.
maybe it was just in my head.
I think
But
sometimes you've got a point of comparison and they don't. They're like, we smiled. That's as good as it. Like,
Yeah.
well, I'm not going to laugh out loud. You know, I don't laugh out loud in movies. You know, I smiled and that's enough. But you were like, no, that's a bomb. So I think maybe it was maybe it was awesome.
yeah, I mean, I did audibly hear one woman go, "No," like, and not one of
She
those
was
like
the point too.
Not,
Yeah.
And it wasn't one of those like, oh, he said something edgy, like, no, you can't. It was like, no, like, that's awful. No, that's no. You can't be doing that.
All right, well, we got to leave you there, Andrew.
But how do people find you?
New YouTube channel?
Andrew Hamilton Comedy. I'm everywhere. Look me up.
And you will go everywhere. Do you know I've not seen your prisoner show? I'd love to see it.
It's great.
So when you come back to Melbourne,
Yeah,
I'll watch
come.
it.
I'm at the TOF.
And at a good time. At the top.
Toff's
Oh, that's huge, mate. Congratulations. Yeah.
It's a big room.
You've not
It's a
done
lot
it.
bigger than Spleen, brother.
Yeah.
I've done it, but yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
that it was a big thing to do it. But
It's like a 300
it's great.
seater, isn't it? 200?
I think it was like 140 or something. I don't know.
It's big, and it's well, A-list do all the lineup shows there.
Yes,
So-
I've done the lineup shows.
Oh, so you've
I've had
seen it.
fun there, but I didn't know
Okay,
it was a big
great.
thing to like do a solo there. But yeah, it'll be fun.
Nice.
It's fantastic. You'll have a great time. Everyone should definitely go and see it.
Guys, if you're not already on the Patreon, please make sure you jump on board. Follow us on all the social medias. Jump on our YouTube. Give us a little subscribe. All that boring bullshit. But thank you very much to Andrew Hamilton. And make sure you follow him on the social media. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
I've been fired from a lot of places.
You have.
I've been fired from so many places.
I went into the class one day, real bullets.